Hi all, welcome back to the final whistle. Hope everyone is well. So tonight we're going to do the Premier League predictions. Game week 8. Welcome to the channel. Hope everyone's well. Sorry about the little bit of pixelation. I will try to improve that, but welcome to Premier League predictions. Get your predictions in as we go along. Hit that like button for me. Subscribe if you haven't already. It'd be really much appreciated. And let's get started. Let's see who's in. Dawn, how are you? Hope you're good. Eddie, how are you, mate? Callum, hello. How are you, mate? Hope you're good. Right, let's get football Martin in. Martin, how are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm very good, Jack. Good to see you for the second time today. We've already done one pre-match preview, haven't we? Got another one to do tomorrow. So we're busy creating good content, Jack.
Yeah, evening, Terry. Evening, Lee. Martin, shout out your channel, mate. Let everybody know where they can find you, pal.
Yeah, if you not familiar with myself, you can find me over at Football Martin _ YouTube, TikTok. I'm on all the major social media platforms, Facebook and Instagram as well. Predominantly a Southampton content creator, but I do a lot of Premier League content at the moment. And if you want to know all about the survival for Premier League safety, I'm going to be covering it throughout the season on my channel. So they're special series that I've just launched last couple of weeks. So yeah, very exciting times.
Fantastic. Sorry about the bit of confusion there, Martin. But Martin, talk to me how you think Southampton got on against Arsenal. We're going to look at the other games from the game week 7. But how did you fare against Arsenal?
That was a good day out. I went to the game, travelled to the Emirates for that one. Look, it was a tough game. We were camped in our half for the majority of it, really. Didn't have a lot of possession, probably the least possession we've had all season. They didn't really get out of first, second gear, first half, Arsenal. Passed the ball side to side. Didn't really test Aaron Ramsdale in goal to the end of the first half. But Southampton took a shock lead at the start of the second half through Cameron Archer. He come on for the injured Ross Stewart, got a goal. And you thought at that stage, oh, here we go. Let's just try and keep it tight. Let's not do anything silly. And within a minute, Flynn Downs gives the ball away. 3-4 touches and Arsenal scored. And they're a ruthless side to play against. And that the bench was unbelievable. Martinelli coming off the bench, Trossard. And they just got such an array of talent that they can call upon. They rested a few because of Champions League in midweek, and they tore Saints to bits within inside about 15 minutes and put the game to bed because that's the sort of side they are. Didn't expect to get anything out of it. I think the scoreline was a lot less than we expected, and it's no win, no points, yet to win a Premier League game. Going to game week 8 with just the 1 point on the board, and the pressure mounts. Obviously, face your boys at the weekend, and it's the biggest game of Southampton season already by quite some way.
What's your thoughts on the Premier League relegation battle, Martin? I know it's a bit early to talk about it, but would you say it's going to be a mini league this season? Do you reckon, where the likes of Leicester are going to be, Southampton, and them types of sides? I'd kind of say it's a fair assessment, to be fair, if you're calling it a mini league.
Yeah, it's definitely a mini league. There's loads of little leagues within the league as well, and that relegation scrap's quite interesting. Actually, I've already started to create a little show on Premier League survival because I already feel there are teams down there already. Say, i.e., Southampton, we will need to win probably 2 games in the next 4 to have any chance, really, in my opinion. If you go losing to if you no disrespect to the teams who are playing at home, but we've got Leicester at home, Everton at home, we've got Wolves away. They're all games you need to be getting points out of. If we don't walk out of this block of fixtures with at least 2 wins, you would say you'd be staring down the barrel at relegation already, because that's how brutal this division is. It's so tough, and no one's got cut adrift just yet. But this next block of 4 games between this international break and the next one, I think you'll see some real movement. Wolves have had a really tough start, but their fixtures are a little bit more favourable in the coming weeks. Same with Leicester, you've got decent fixtures. They fared the better of the promoted sides. Ipswich fixtures are not too bad. Southampton's are not too bad. So really and truly, this is where it really starts to get a bit. You'll start to really know about teams, I think, in the next 4 weeks.
Yeah, I agree. Some would say they're surprised by Wolves. I mean, Gary O'Neill is under pressure, and I know the
Yeah.
Wolves hierarchy have said that he's not. Crystal Palace, another one who started really well at the back end of last season when the new manager came in, and then all of a sudden, they've not started off the season the way they'd hoped. Southampton, Ipswich, Leicester. You'd probably say Leicester have started off the better out of the 3 sides. And then Everton. I mean, Everton look to be there every year, don't they? Every season. Then all of a sudden they pull it off like right near the end when you think they're done for. And then, but yeah, I will stadium for the Friday night football. But Martin, let's have a look at game week 7. Let's have a look, see what happened. I know we've covered Southampton, but let's go back to front. Let's have a look at the Sunday games first as we work our way down. Villa 0, Man United 0. Chelsea 1, Forest 1. I mean, Forest still remains to be unbeaten in the last few at Stamford Bridge. Brighton coming back from 2-0 down to beat Spurs. I mean, out of them 3 games, Mike, I'd say Spurs got a shock after going 2-0 up.
Yeah, 2-0 up. And Brighton, it was interesting. Really interesting side to watch, actually. Tactically, I was watching a video on YouTube a couple of days ago about how they tactically set up. But they seem to empty the midfield. And almost like the goalkeeper and the defenders can almost bypass the midfield and they go straight into Danny Welbeck. I think they're a really interesting outfit to watch under this new manager. And it was hell of a turnaround, wasn't it? It just shows the quality of Brighton, but Spurs will be fuming with that. Postecoglou would have been absolutely fuming with that. And he's got a really tough game at the weekend because they got to take on West Ham United at home. But yeah, I was really surprised at Spurs in that second half. I really was. I watched the game and yeah, very, very shocked.
Yeah, Danny Welbeck striking against Spurs, and obviously he used to play for Arsenal, didn't he? So I think it'd be better sweet for him. Did score against Tottenham. Palace 0, Liverpool 1 with a dinner time kickoff on the Saturday. Liverpool winning 1-0. Arsenal 3, Southampton 1, which we've covered. Brentford, talk to me about them. I mean, they've seemed to have started off really well under Thomas Frank. They seem to be scoring quite a few goals, don't they, in the early stages of the opening seconds, Martin, of a game in most games. And how impressed have you been with Brentford? Obviously, they beat Wolves. Wolves again seem to be scoring, but they're getting outscored, aren't they, Martin, when they do seem to be scoring Wolves and they're not picking up the points.
Yeah, they're doing well, Brentford, aren't they? I watched an interview actually with Thomas Frank yesterday on Talk Sport. I thought it was very interesting. I think he can get clubs knocking on his door. 10 points after 7 games is pretty impressive as well. And they lost their talisman in Ivan Toney as well. They've done really, really well. Like you say, they're scoring goals early, but they don't play ticky-tacky football, do they? They look to get it forward into the front men. Those front 3 are a real handful. And the one thing they do is they press in some numbers as well when they need to. Again, certainly like the sides that like to have the ball and play out from the back. we saw it as a Southampton side when we went there. They pressed us in sixes and sevens and won the ball high up the field. And look, they've got players that can really hurt you in the likes of Wissa, and they're a deadly side to play against. I've been really impressed whenever I've seen Brentford. I've got to say, but he's got some good players in there, Jack. He's got some really, really good players in there, and they're all performing for him. But as a manager, what a job he's doing. He's Man United this weekend for them, so it's a tougher test away from home. But you never know. Like we were saying earlier, you never know. Going away to United, like you always used to think, oh yeah, it's a defeat, but not anymore. Not anymore. It's a game they might just go and upset the apple cart. They look to get those early goals, like you say, and yeah, they're an interesting side to watch. And Bayo plays up front for them. He's been really, really good, hasn't he, Jack?
Yeah, I think Brentford have surprised a few this season, aren't they? Wolves, I mean, some would say they're surprised to get down there to where they are, but when you sell your key players, Martin, like Neto and that, it's kind of, you're not putting the money back in to bring more quality in. Leicester 1, Bournemouth 0. I mean, we spoke about that earlier, didn't we, Martin, on your channel? Big win for Steve Cooper. I think a much needed win for Leicester. Facundo Buonanotte with the winner there. Second half, Leicester had to hold on, didn't they? They had to show real, true grit and resilience, and I thought we did that in the game very well. And yeah, Bournemouth threw everything at it with bringing all these attackers on and that, but Leicester remained to prevail in the end and pick up them crucial 3 points to really push us on. Man City 3, Fulham 2. I mean, I wouldn't say it were an easy type of game for Manchester City, that one. I mean, I thought Traore caused them a nuisance in that game from what got said after the game. But then you look at Ipswich, Martin, 4-1 defeat to West Ham. I mean, West Ham turned it on, didn't they, Martin, in the second half? But Liam Delap scoring for Ipswich once again. But what do you take out them 3 games?
Yeah, interesting. Starting off with the West Ham game against Ipswich, I thought Ipswich might go there and get something. Really, I was quite impressed with them against Villa, but I think that their home form is going to be key for them. They've got some big home games this coming block of fixtures. But West Ham, they needed that first home win of the season. They got it on the board, and look, they just need to get going. New manager takes a little bit of time, doesn't it, under Lopetegui? Just finding his feet, them learning what he wants from his players. Big P would be a very, very happy man with that result, that's for sure. He said they were very dominant in the game as well, West Ham. Ipswich, I do fear for. I think all the pundits, mainstream media were like, oh yeah, they'll be fine out of the 3 promoted sides. They all felt that Ipswich were gonna do really well. I think it's going to be really tough for them. They look goal shy, don't they? A bit like Southampton. Where their goals coming from? Delap obviously looks good, but they've got to keep him fit. He's got a record of injuries, hasn't he? So it'd be interesting to see what they can do under McKenna. I think they're at home this weekend, but we'll look at their fixture in a minute. But yeah, interesting to see him get beaten by the 4 goals to 1. Man City are just powering away, Jack, aren't they? Just doing the business, aren't they, at the moment? I think they're going to be right thereabouts. Will it be Guardiola's last year? That'd be interesting to see. What was the other fixture you spoke about? Everton
and then Leicester.
Yeah, I thought a big result for Leicester. I think the Everton 0-0, a good result for them at home. The interesting one though was your win against Bournemouth. I was super impressed with Bournemouth when we went down there. We must have just been absolutely crap. But yeah, we were shocking down there, to be honest. But it was a good result for you to beat Bournemouth. Don't travel as well, maybe Bournemouth, but they play a bit of a press. But heard you defended really well in that game, and to get through, it's all about getting 3 points. Sometimes it's not about the way you play football. If you want to stay in the Premier League, sometimes you just got to grind some results out, and that's what you did. I'd like to see my side do that, grind a result out. We couldn't do it against Ipswich at home, but we're damn sure have to do it this weekend. We'll have to grind something out. And sometimes it's not all about playing the ticky-tacky football. It's about digging in deep and getting dirty when you need to.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's all about pulling out the stops in the Premier League and getting as many points as you can. I mean, the international break again, the second international break now, Martin. It when you win before the international break, you kind of want to keep that consistency and you want to play as many games as you can. But then the international break comes and it kind of breaks up your sort of momentum. But yeah, it's not. I've looked forward to getting club football back. To be honest, if I'm honest with you. But yeah, let's get into week 8, Martin. Some big games, obviously. You know, a big run of fixtures for Leicester in these next 4. Big run of games for Southampton. But let's get on to the first one, Martin. Guys, get your predictions in as well. Spurs versus West Ham. Talk to me about that one. I mean, that's the first game on the Saturday. How do you see that one going at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Martin?
Oh, I think there'll be goals for sure in this one. I do think there'll be goals. I think he's going to need to get a response in the Postecoglou after that result down at the Amex before the international break. Big P won't like me, but I do see a Tottenham win in this one, certainly at home as well. Always a bit cagey, those early kickoffs, aren't they, potentially? But I'm going to go with I think Eddie just put it in the chat, actually, what I was about to say. I was going to go with a 2-1 victory. I think West Ham get a goal there, but yeah, Spurs to come out victorious in this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go for a 3-1 Tottenham win. Next one is Fulham versus Aston Villa. I mean, this is quite an interesting game, Martin. Both sides have really started off well this season, Villa and Fulham. But Craven Cottage seems to be quite a fortress for Fulham at the minute. You know, they seem to be doing quite well under Marco Silva. Aston Villa are playing some really good football under Unai Emery. They're picking up the points and they've really transformed in the last season or so, and Unai Emery's getting them playing the way he wants them to now, and they've got really good squad of players. Even though we knew Champions League football is added to the calendar now for them, but they seem to be coping with it quite well with the squad depth and that. But how do you see them getting on at Craven Cottage, Aston Villa?
It's a tough place to go, Jack. You know, they've only lost twice this season. That was to both Manchester clubs, if I'm right in saying. Man United in the first game of the season away, and then obviously lost at Man City away before the international break. But a good start from Marco Silva's side. I think it'd be a tough test for Villa, actually. International break kind of takes a sting out of it. I like Villa. I think Villa are a really good side under Emery. I'm going to go with a draw, though, Jack. Sit right on the fence with this one. I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw.
Interesting. I'll tell you what, I think Villa nick it for me just. I'm going to go 2-1 Villa. Next one, Martin, Portman Road. Ipswich versus Everton. This is an important game for both sides, if I'm honest with you. Both sides need to get a win out of this game, if I'm honest with you. I think it'll be a tough trip for Everton, this one. Ipswich seems to make it difficult at Portman Road for teams, but do you think it'll be a tricky afternoon for the Toffees, Martin, or do you think Everton will come away with all 3 points? How do you see it going at Portman Road?
Well, they got a good result, Everton, didn't they, against Newcastle last time out. Ipswich, I was looking at the statistics around this. Ipswich obviously not won a Premier League game yet. They could make some history in this one if they go 8 games without a victory at the start of a top flight campaign. So they're going to need a win. They're going to need a win. They're not going to want to draw another game. I think they need to find 3 points. Slow start for Everton, but they're finding their feet, aren't they? And an opportunity to get himself up the league. Everton. I think Everton will go there and win. I don't know why. I just fancy them in this one. I like Calvert-Lewin. I think he'd be the man that fire them to safety. I don't think they go down, Everton. I really don't. But yeah, I'm going to go with an away win. I'm going to go with a 2-1 away win in this one.
I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw in this one. I think I don't know. Ipswich need a response, but then Everton have got quite a few points, haven't they, in the last couple of games? So Everton are going to be more experienced in this league, aren't they, than Ipswich? A side that's still learning their trade in this division. Um, but yeah, I think Everton in these types of games, they always seem to pull some off, don't they? But I think a draw between the two sides. Man United, Brentford, mine is the
Mm.
next one. How do you see this one faring at Old Trafford? Could Brentford pull it off, or does Ten Hag really need this win now as he remains under pressure?
Well, he's under pressure, and he's got some players that he may be missing this weekend as well, because I reckon Garte could be out. He's got a muscle injury. Ganacho, he's got a knee injury. They reckon Rasmus Højlund's injured at the moment. Mainu as well. Obviously, Mason Mount's got that head injury. Luke Shaw can't get himself fit, so they have some injury issues going into this one. I wouldn't be surprised to see Brentford go there and get something. Actually, I was going to go with a Man United win actually, but he's under so much pressure, Eric Ten Hag. We didn't touch upon it, but obviously England have made their appointment with Thomas Tuchel. I still feel that the FA maybe
Yeah.
made that move because they know that United, if they don't have it, they will sack him in a minute if things don't change at United. I think he will go. Tuchel must have been somebody they were looking at, surely, because he's with all the managers that are available right now or were available. He was probably the best of the bunch for the that was out of work. So yeah, obviously England got their man. They'll be struggling to find a manager that's going to take that on and really turn it around. I think it's a tough job for anybody, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Brentford win it. I'm going to go with a 2-1 away win. I'm going to go right against the grain with it, Jack.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm going to back you, Martin, 2-1 Brentford. Brentford have been causing problems for teams this season, and, the mark score in the opening minutes against Man United. So, Ten Hag, I don't think he can really afford to lose this game, but there's just too much happening at Man United at the minute for me, and it's not going in the right direction, Martin. They seem to be really struggling on and off the pitch, if I'm honest with you. But yeah, some serious mounting pressure if they do get defeats Brentford. I think they'll lose 2-1. Next one, Martin, is St James's Park. Newcastle United versus Brighton. How do you see this one faring, Martin? I mean, both sides have started off well, haven't they? If you look at both teams, who comes out on top in this one for you, Martin?
Oh, it's a real tough one, isn't it? So I kind of was looking at my Super Six earlier at lunchtime, thinking, going through the fixtures, and I put it down as a 2-2 draw. I don't know who wins this one really, but I'm going to go with a draw. I'm going to stick with what I put down on my Super Six, and I'm going to go, Jack, with the 2-2 draw in that one.
I'm going to go with Terry. I'm going to go 2-1 Brentford. Callum's gone 2-1. Arthur's gone 3-2 Brentford. That's in the Brentford game. Martin, here it is then. Southampton versus Leicester City. Tricky game. This one for sure. I don't think we can overlook Southampton despite their poor form. But how does Southampton set up in this one, and what's your thoughts ahead of this big game at the south coast?
Well, it's a huge game, isn't it? It's a massive game, a game that the Southampton need to win. I think there's more pressure on us than I think there is on you, to be quite honest, because you've got to win. You've got a few draws under your belt. We're still waiting for that first victory, and the pressure's building on the manager. I like the manager. I like him a lot. I think he's done a good job, but I think the style of football is starting to grate on a few people's. It's grating on a few people now because we give teams too many chances to score goals, and we do. We could break history this weekend if we don't win. It could be the longest stretch that we've ever gone without winning a game in the top flight. We're 20 games, Jack, that we haven't won in the Premier League right now. 20 games. could make it 21 at the weekend, which would go down in history for Southampton. I think a defeat at the weekend it'd probably be the end of Russell Martin. If I'm totally honest with you, I really like him, and I hope he can find another way to play football with this group of players. I just don't think we're quite good enough to do what he wants to do at this level. We've had I looked at the statistics today for the third most possession out of any team in the Premier League, Southampton, but they've had the second least touches in the opposition's box. So what does that tell you? You could have all the possession in the world, but if you do not get it in the
Tells you how
opposition's box,
defensive you are as a team.
it's not good enough. It's not good enough. You have to find another way to play sometimes. He's got players that he can use to go in a slightly different style if he wanted to. A bit more physicality up front, start to really hurt teams. But the tiki-taki football, there's not many teams that can really, really do it at the top level, is there? Man City, Liverpool, they do it really, really well. Arsenal, outside of that, there's not loads. So, but you want my score prediction, don't you?
No, I agree.
You're gonna want my score prediction.
Yeah,
right, I was looking back over statistics, and I reckon a lot of the newly promoted teams draw. There's loads of draws. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a draw, but I have to back my team to win. A 2-1 win in my heart, but in my head, do you know what, honestly, Jamie Vardy's had more goal contributions against Southampton than he has against any other team since he's played for Leicester. I think his score against us the weekend, my gut feelings will probably end up losing it. But I will back us to win because that's my heart, it's my team. Go 2-1 victory. But deep down, I think we're in for a really, really tough day.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to go 2-1 Leicester. We've got confidence after that win. I think it was much needed for Steve Cooper. Everyday Gaming talks about what if Leicester lose? Will people be after Steve Cooper's head? I think everyone's got an opinion on Steve Cooper at the minute, if I'm honest with you, everyday games. This is a pivotal run of fixtures for Steve Cooper where he's got to pick up the points, I'm afraid, to be honest. But like I say, this is a big game for Steve Cooper, and like I say, he wants to get the fans on side and hopefully he goes attacking at the weekend and really takes the game to Southampton. I think that's something he's got to do. I believe in his first season, Martin, his only away win came against the Saints at St Mary's, 1-0.
Yeah, it was. I was there. Yeah, it was. I was there. Absolutely, shocking. I was there that night. One of our worst defeats that season. 1-0 victory. It was. It was on a horrible January night. But yeah, I remember it well.
Yeah, I think these are the games where Leicester have got to pick up the points, if we want to stay in the league, The players have got real fight in them. I think Facundo Buonotto has been fantastic for us this season. I think Jamie Vardy's still scoring goals, even though people seem to be writing him off time and time again. But this is a big game, and this is the game where Leicester's really got to be up for it, yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. But Martin, Bournemouth versus Arsenal. Bournemouth seem to do well against the big sides, don't they, Martin? At the Vitality. But do you think they could cause an upset in this game? I know Arsenal have been conceding a few goals in the last few games, haven't they? But or do you kind of see Arsenal kind of cruising with this one?
No, I think Arsenal will win this one. They're such a good side. To get everyone back from international duty, hopefully they don't have any injury concerns. I haven't actually looked to see if they have got any injury concerns. I think Arsenal will win it 3-0 for me. I think it's a comfortable away win for them. 17-0.
Yeah, I'm going to go...
Jesus.
I'll tell you what,
it's not Sunday League, mate.
He's even got the wrong way around, Martin.
Yeah, 17-0 Southampton.
I tell you what, I think it'd take some bloody sending off, Martin, for it to be 17-0.
Yeah.
I think Arsenal comfortably win this one for me. I think they've got enough quality to see off Bournemouth. I'm going to go I'll tell you what, I'm going to go 3-1. I'm going to go with what Terry's gone for here. I think Bournemouth
Mm,
score. Dave's gone 2-0 to the Arsenal. Um, Wolves Man City is the next one,
mm,
Martin. Strugglers Wolves, bottom of the table.
mm.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be getting a win here, do you, Martin? To be honest, I think they'll give
No
it a good
chance.
go, but yeah, I think Manchester City pick them off. If I'm honest with you, quality Manchester City side, aren't they? I know they're kind of struggling in midfield without Rodri. De Bruyne, I think he's been missing, Annie. But I think Man City win this quite comfortably. If I'm honest, I think Haaland
Yeah.
probably lick his lips looking at this fixture, but I tell you what, I'm going 4-0 Man City.
Yeah, I'll back you with that 4-0 Man City. Absolutely. I think it'd be a, if you've not triple captain Haaland, it's probably a week to do it.
Wolves 1-0. That'd be some bloody game if that happened. Um, Simple. I think that'd be good. That'd be interesting if that happened. I mean, that helps Arsenal out and Liverpool if Man City lose 1-0. But yeah, I kind of don't see it, to be fair, but you never know in football. Martin, the next one is Liverpool versus Chelsea.
Mm.
Two, you could say, informed sides in this game. Liverpool, top of the league. Chelsea, they're playing really well under Enzo Maresca, aren't they? Cole Palmer is scoring quite a few for Chelsea. Cole Palmer, I think he's got a thing in his contract where Manchester City can buy him back. But how do you see Maresca faring against on a slot in this one, Martin?
I think it'd been an interesting game actually. I've been quite impressed with what Maresca's done. I really do. I think he's doing a really good job. I think it'd be a really tough game for Liverpool. I really do. I'm going to sit on the fence though. I think it's two really good sides playing against each other. I've been impressed with how organised he's got Chelsea. He's got them scoring goals. He's got one of the best players in the league at the moment in Cole Palmer. If you look at all the Premier League players, he's probably the best. The 4 goals that he scored before the international break were unbelievable, weren't they? He was just so good. Yeah, it was against Brighton. Was it against Brighton? It was a week before, wasn't it? It was the week before the international break. Yeah, I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw. I'm going to sit right on the fence, Jack. I fancy Palmer to score though.
I tell you what, I don't think it's. I think this one will be goals. Goals. Two good sides. If you look at how they played this season, Enzo's got to get his tactics spot on in this game, and I think they could cause Liverpool problems. I think Cole Palmer will be on the score sheet in this one, but will home advantage count for Liverpool? I tell you what, Martin, I'm going to go 1-1.
Yeah, I see it being
I'm
a
going to go
draw.
for a draw.
It's got a draw
Yeah,
written all
Dawn
over
says
it.
one each. Leicester till I die has gone 2-2. Last one's the Monday night football, Martin. Nottingham
Mm,
Forest versus Crystal Palace. I don't think Morgan Gibbs White's going to be playing in this one. I seen a video
mm.
yesterday of him on crutches and in a boot, so that kind of looks worrying if you're a Forest fan with Morgan Gibbs White known as your best player.
James Ward-Prowse is suspended, isn't
Will
he, for this
Chris
one?
Wood score in this game? What's that, Mike?
Yeah, James Ward-Prowse is suspended as well because he got sent off, didn't he, before the international break. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I've been impressed with Forest. I've been really, really impressed with Forest. I think he's doing a good job there. I think he's got a way of playing football, and already they've got a bit of an identity about them. Tough place to go, isn't it? The Forest ground, proper old school, proper football club. I think it's a tough one for Palace. I hope for our sake they don't get a result, Palace, and I don't think they will get a result. I think they will win this one, Nottingham Forest. And we go with a 2-0 Forest win in this one. Dor will be happy if
Yeah,
he's still tuning in
simplistic's
watching.
gone. He's gone 3-1, simplistic. 1-0 Crystal Palace. I tell you what, I'm gonna go for I think is the prediction is the for Southampton.
He wants to
Me and
know our
Martin gave our
predictions.
predictions for Southampton. If you watch it back, Alex, then you'll find out what we've gave. But Terry's
Mm.
gone 1-1. I kind of see Forest having home advantage. I think it'd be tight, but I think they'll win it 2-1. Arthur's gone 2-2. I'm kind of mixed between 2-1 and 1-1. I think Forest just edgy at home.
I think Forest will edge
I
at
think
home.
Chris Wood gets on the score sheet again. But
Yeah.
that is it for the Premier League predictions. Martin, let everybody know what's coming up tomorrow night. Then there it is.
I've got you all the latest from the press conference as well. I'm going to get there's a embargo 10:30 section coming out tonight as well, so I'll be able to bring you all the team news and everything out of the Southampton camp in this match preview show when I join you tomorrow, Jack, as well. So yeah, very much looking forward to joining you in this one.
Yeah, match preview tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Me and Martin will be doing a match preview for that one. So join us for that. We'll be going really in depth with this one as it's a big game on the South Coast as both sides eye 3 points. But who will come out on top, it remains to be seen. But Martin, thanks for coming on, mate. And
Cheers,
let everybody
guys.
know before you go where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on all the major platforms, but YouTube. Obviously, go give me a follow at @footballmartin_. Heading towards 10,000 followers on TikTok. Really appreciate the followers on there as well. At @footballmartin_. Same handle. If you got a football friend, please do share it with your football friend. And let's get to 10K.
Appreciate that. Go and drop Martin
Thanks, Jack.
a follow. Martin, thanks for coming on, mate, and I'll catch you at
7
my friend.
tomorrow.
See you later. That was Football Martin. Thank you to everybody who's watched. Really appreciate it. If you've enjoyed this stream, hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you haven't already. Really appreciate it if you can do that. We have got the match preview tomorrow night at 7. There will be a match day vlog from St Mary's on Saturday as Leicester head to the South Coast to take on the Saints. But yeah, that is it from me. Take care, everyone. Thanks for all the comments and getting involved as always. Really appreciate it. And I'll catch you in the next stream. See you tomorrow at 7. Up the Foxes.
Hi all, thank you for watching The Final Whistle. If you enjoy all our content, please remember to smash a like, share and subscribe to the channel.